Compatibility.
Um,
What's making that relationship strong? How do you start? Where do you lay the framework?
I mean, a DM on Instagram can't hurt, but
Shoot your shot, all 2020, huh?
like humor is probably really important for
There
us.
you go.
Um,
Perfect example right there.
that would be my first go-to, like just having someone that you can make a joke and not have them get pissed at you or you know take it the wrong way, or just yeah, and you can do the same for that person. Like that's the first place that my mind goes.
Mm.
You know?
So when you're sparking up that new relationship, or you see someone that you're attracted to, that's who you look for. You look for that if they can make you laugh.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a lot easier, like pre-quarantine, especially like when you meet someone in person. I feel like that's pretty obvious.
I agree with that because I feel like having a sense of humor bodes really well for whenever you have conflict in a relationship. If you can end a conflict or resolve a conflict and get to a point where you're laughing again, I think that makes for a really strong resolution of sorts to it. And if you don't have that kind of lightness in it, I think it's harder to kind of come to resolutions with any sort of conflict, whether that's like what wine should we have this evening or something a little bit more significant. I think it's equally important.
It's
Mm-hmm.
usually the one thing with us.
Not always.
Mm. I mean, I've heard that one of you may not actually like wine. Um, that was a little bit
Oh,
concerning
I
coming into
forgot
this
you
episode, but
told them about that.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I've been exposed.
yeah, you get the relationship going. I mean, not the end of the world, but
And yet she's drinking wine.
yeah, I mean, compromise is an important thing, but really, what's that foundation for you guys? Like, humor is a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there, of course, every relationship there has to be a certain level of respect. Um, I think that's one of my cornerstones. Like, if I feel like you can't respect me, then it's a no go. If I feel like you can't understand my personality, then what are we doing? Honestly, like we just
Yeah, for
wasting
real.
time. Like, what's the deal? So,
I don't want to speak for the entire, millennial generation or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people around our age get caught up in playing games or being
Games. Yeah.
coy or and that maybe that's somebody's genuine personality and that's their authentic self and that's fantastic. Like that's great if that's how you express yourself, but I think it's so much easier to actually connect with somebody when you eliminate all of that and you kind of
Right.
eliminate the veneer of, oh, I don't really like this person or I don't really want to let that person know I like them. I think being really straight with your intentions and with where your head your heart's at and everything that goes with it is such a better way to go about
Yeah.
building things than being like, oh, like I might like you, but I might not, or however people skirt around things.
I feel like that can be a big deal breaker for some people.
If anybody's used an app, I feel like that's kind of the vibe you end up getting. Maybe our other hosts have like examples with that or experiences with it, but I feel like that's a lot of the MO of people occasionally on the dating app scene, and it makes it really hard to figure out what people are about.
I
damn.
feel
That's
like
true.
honesty and playing hard to get and all that stuff and a lot of it I mean, at least for me, comes from I think more of our parents' generation than ours in some ways of
Mm,
being and there's part of like being a woman and feeling like you need to hide part of yourself and holding back in some sense, but I definitely think that honesty is really important. And one other thing to throw in here is also what we were talking about before we went live was wanting to have good flow for the show. And I think in a relationship or when you're starting to get to know someone, like that kind of flow, which is something that's hard to actually measure or explain, but is kind of a natural like feeling or sign that you can get in talking to someone. You kind of just know.
mm-hmm.
I feel like this is sort of packing on some of the points a couple of you guys have made already, but I feel like communication is like a good catch-all for everything we've sort of been talking about, especially if there is conflict. There has to be a way to resolve it, and being able to sit down with this person and lay everything on the table and like not sugarcoating things and not sugarcoating how you feel. obviously you have to be comfortable enough with the person to trust them. But like you're saying, this generation is
You think
just.
you're good at that?
I think I'm pretty good at that. I've gotten better. I've got. I mean, we all have our imperfections, but
Yeah.
sort of like through the years, I've learned that certain people just all communicate in different ways, and we give and take feedback in our own individual ways. And finding someone that's like that you're willing to work with um, is a big part of that. And yeah, sort of just not playing games like this generation tends to do.